Okay, I got the recording going. Let me turn down the music here. Okay, tell me a little bit about where your knowledge is with human design and gene keys.
All right. So about 16, 17 months ago was when I first came in contact with the gene keys in human design. It was through a virtual community I'm a part of, the Soul Embodiment Sanctuary. My brother and I, we both were very pulled by the gene keys, especially. I have a basic understanding of human design, and for some reason, there's like I don't feel a gravity as much with the system as much as I do with the gene keys.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Feels more natural.
Which surprises me. You're a quad left, and I'm a quad right. So
Really?
We're like on the total opposite ends. You're very analytical. I'm very the other way. Are you familiar with what your type and authority are?
Yeah, I know that I'm an emotional manifester.
Okay.
I know that my strategy is to inform. I also know that the authority, being the solar plexus, and the emotional is to ride through the wave of emotions before making a decision or act.
I know a couple of I only know a couple of manifestors who are very unaware of themselves, and they are extremely repelling people. One of them is one I would like to work with on a community project, but he's so just like there's no invitation and I can't do squat. I'm a projector.
Right. So you have to answer that invitation. So
yeah, and him without knowing or understanding that, he's like, well, why can't I ever get anything done? No, it's like, because you're not informing anyone, you're just doing it and pushing everybody away. Not to say that you are, I'm just saying that was my experience with this person. I'm going to try something that I've never done with, so let's try this. Hold on. I'm trying to make the chat part go away. No, that didn't do it. Let's try screen sharing. We're going to go to Files, Dropbox. Share. Now I just did this in a test run. Recent. Hey, found it. Okay. Now I don't see where you are still. But this is what I'm reading. Are you familiar with the hologenic profile?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I've done is taken out all of the shadows, the cities, and the actual gene keys. Now the line number for each gene key is pretty, just in and of itself is pretty, a lot of information. So this is what we're going to go through today. You're a 4-6. The first two are 4s, and the unconscious side are 6s. You also have 2 3s, 4 4s, 2 5s, and 1 first line. Okay. Now I have to figure out how to get back to dismiss. There we are. Okay. So what I do is I just do it all by hand and break down what all the line numbers are. Um, Now, in human design, the 4 is called the opportunist. In the gene key side, it's called a server or a networker. It's basically the social influencer. If you need something done, you don't know how to do it, you know somebody who knows how to do it, or you know somebody who knows somebody how to do it. The whole point for you is building up that network. The wound of the 4th line is the wound of rejection. And the way that rejection is healed is through gentleness. And I need my spectacles because I can't read my own writing. Let's see. Have you ever heard of Richard Rudd's book, The Art of Contemplation?
I do. I have a copy of it here.
Okay. That's something I highly recommend. Because that gentleness, those pauses, it's not just mental. It's a mental check-in, a physical check-in, and a soul check-in. Even if you only do it for 3 minutes twice a day, the benefits, especially for you, will be outstanding.
I attempt as often as possible to join in the contemplation of the threefold flame. I don't make all of them, but at least once a day.
That's awesome. That's a great practice. The shadow of the 4th line can be overgiving. It can also be manipulation and corruption, because you have this ability to bring all these different people together. The key point for you is integrity. To say what you mean and do what you say. That's going to be integral for you. And honesty. Not only honesty with yourself, but demanding honesty from others. If you're getting people with hidden agendas or being dishonest, you need to, back away from those situations. Let those go. And softness and romance is a part of the 4th line. As you trend out of the evolution to the I didn't even say your gifts there. In life work, the gift is adventure. And in your evolution, the gift is patience. So patience is going to go hand in hand with gentleness. As you evolve out of your evolution into your radiance, we go into the 6th line. Are you familiar with the 6th line and the 3 different stages?
Yeah, how you begin as a 3rd line expression,
Right.
and then going up on the roof for getting an overview before you come down as a role model.
Yeah. How old are you, if I may ask?
42.
42. Okay, so you're just ending the 2nd phase. The first phase is really trial and error. It's about fucking up, making mistakes.
Over and over again.
And over and again. And the second part is like, okay, I touched the stove, it's hot, it burned me. I touched the stove, it's hot, it burned me. I touched the stove, it's hot, it burned me. When you get into that second phase, you go, maybe I shouldn't touch the stove. Then as you get to about my age, past 50, you get to be teaching others, hey, Don't touch the stove.
It hurts.
It hurts. It burns. It's not good for you. Um, you start to come into that role model, and you're right roughly in that phase of life of just about to step into that and being the teacher. Um, the gift you have there is inquiry. That's a hard word to say. I don't know if I said it right. Incro.
Inquiry.
Yes, it's like looking at the word quesadilla. I cannot pronounce it. I can say quesadilla, but I can't look at it and say that's quesadilla. Um, the shadow of the sixth line can be arrogance and aloofness, not letting people really know you. And that is healed with trust. The wound is isolation, and it can be self-isolation. And that is healed with care. Self-care, allowing others to care for you, caring for others. And it's sort of the opposite of being a networker. You know what I mean? You have that part that needs those connections with those different people for different things to happen. The purpose in the bottom sphere has serves two different functions. The first is part of the, I forgot what you call it, the first path. The first part of learning this stuff is the first four spheres. And if you haven't signed up for it, you can get those classes free on genekeys.com. Have you already gotten that one?
Yeah, I'm actually in the deep dive at the moment.
Oh, are you? Freaking
yeah.
Awesome.
We're on the Sphere of Radiance this month. And,
okay. Okay, so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. It's
a little bit, yeah.
Okay. And purpose doesn't mean what you do in life. It means what you are. And your gift there is imagination. As you move into the second series, which is the Venus, your purpose becomes, what is your purpose in relationships? And your purpose in relationships, the sixth line, is to be a visionary. And the shadow side of that is being a judge. So you have to be vigilant in when you notice yourself being judgmental or judging, to pause and breathe. The second sphere in the Venus sequence is called the attraction sphere. It's sort of, what is the energy of you that draws people to you? What is attractive about you? And here you have a third line, trial and error. So it's
try everything at least once.
The third line is about promiscuity and playfulness. Promiscuity being obviously the shadow side, and the playfulness, that lightness, is what people are attracted to. And the gift there that you have is dynamism. So you have this dynamicness about you that draws people to you. It's like a light, with moths. Well, you'll come to the light. then it starts to go into the developmental phases, but it goes backwards. It begins with your IQ. You understand what IQ is? Your intelligence, the way you mentally process things. And you have a fifth line, which is the same that I had in that sphere, which is called the practical mind. And the shadow of the practical mind is that it can be defensive. The gift there you have is simplicity. That's the gift I have in my attraction sphere, to be able to take complex, knowledge and break it down to a seed that someone can really get. So that's a great gift to have in your intellect. However, the shadow is complexity.
Complex defenses when you go there.
You're what?
I said very complex defenses if you
right.
The shadow vibrations.
In your EQ, which is your emotional intelligence, which develops from about age 12 to 20-ish, you have a third line again. And the third line can be either sympathy or apathy. And the gift you have is orientation. Orientation is, as you get into studying the different specificities of each sphere, will become a little clearer for you. The SQ is your soul development from like birth to age 7. And you have a fourth line, which is about belonging. Kinship and community are going to be very important. Obviously, for a networker, you need that belonging. The gift there you have is anticipation, being able to kind of know what's coming, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
And then the last one is, like the first one, has two purposes. The core wound is sort of what you brought into this carnation, what you brought from your ancestral DNA, and that is depression. And depression is healed with honesty. Can you hear a theme going on in here?
A little bit. Honesty comes up a lot.
What's that?
I said honesty has come up more than once.
Yeah. And as a vocation, well, that becomes your vocation and toward what you bring to the world. And that is production and originality. It's the only place you have a first line. First line are foundational. They're about inner essence, intelligence, introspection, and investigation. Self-empowerment and being an individual. Stress is also an aspect of the first line. It responds best to full, clear information without agendas and heartfelt directness. Now, as we go into the pearl, Kitty, we do not need you as part of the video. Get out of here. I have yet to study the pearl. I've been waiting for years for Richard to teach this. So I'm really looking forward to this deep dive into the pearl.
Master my it's actually the furthest I've gone into my contemplation. I bought access to the pearl, but I haven't actually gone in and contemplated it yet either. Where we're at right now, the vocation and the core wound, that's as far as I've gotten in the path.
Same here, pretty much. Um, I can give you what the line numbers are and what information I do have. The culture, I'm not sure what actually the culture sphere is, but you have a fourth line there, which is about networking. Not a big surprise. The pearl, you have a fifth line, and your gift there is leadership. That's what you're here to do, to bring to the world and and allow your prosperity. The fifth line, I happen to be a 5-1, so I'm pretty familiar with fifth lines. Is the fixer, has solutions, and it's also a very seductive energy. So the fifth line is about power, and with great power comes great responsibility. That's the only thing that's popping in with regard to that. And then that goes back up into your life's work, which is about adventure. And all three of those, four of those are connected, which you will learn much about coming very soon.
Yes.
So that's it. How does this land for you?
Actually, I really enjoy the focus on the gift. The way you omitted the city and the shadow. I mean, you addressed the shadow, but you didn't use the keyword for it, and it. I don't know. My brother and I we have this sort of theory with the gift frequency about how like that's where the field of action is, or it's where our actual ability to affect change.
Right. So many people get stuck in focusing on the shadow
because they want to find out how to fix that shadow.
Yeah, what's wrong with me? What am I? What am I doing wrong? And it's yeah. There's a piece of that you have to be aware of. Like I'll kind of pay attention to the news. I don't start my day with everything horrible going on in the world. Makes me feel like shit. I don't want to focus on all of my flaws or shadows. They're not real. I don't look at them as flaws. I look at them as they are the garden, and I've planted a seed in it. It's a necessity. As you nurture that seed is the gift. And as that plant grows, eventually that plant will bear fruit, which is the city. So the shadow's not necessarily, a lot of people look at it as it's a bad or horrible thing. It's just part of who and what we are.
Yeah, I like to present in a way that it's a thought construct that is doing the best it can with the information set it has.
Right. And as you gain more information and wisdom, it's less and less relevant. It's still there, but do you feel complete? I can stop the recording part.
I do.
Hold on.